Oh shit.
Yeah. That move, that's some mood music in the beginning. I like that.
That music was I don't know, that shit was putting me to sleep.
It's like elevator music.
Yeah.
Is that music for the intro that we're going live, or that's just your music that you play, Rob?
That's Facebook music, wasn't it?
Oh, you know me and that Facebook.
Is Rob even listening to us?
I don't think so.
Yo, Rob.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker, will say something. You got me cussing.
You, right?
What are you about? I'm working here. I'm working these boards right now.
Yeah, we can't even hear the boards.
No, I had no idea.
I can hear it a little bit.
I thought you was just ignoring us
and just hitting horns for no reason.
I can't hear the horn.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to Brewing Banter Podcast.
I can barely hear Rob.
Where the topic is the rocket and the brew. Will that be the fuel? And I'm your
Rob,
host, Rob G. And with me, as always, the legendary Brew Crew. What's up, fellas?
What is going on, everyone?
Hi.
Hello.
You can hear me.
I can hear you, but you sound like in a I don't know,
underwater.
Like in a distance.
Yeah, it's good. We can hear you enough.
Right. Okay. This is episode 90 of Brews and Banter Podcast, and it is
21, 22
distancing series. And this week we do have three guests. We have Oak Park Brewing, Raj and Jeff, and we also have Theodore Mack II coming on live in just 2 seconds. So we'll get everybody in and just see how it go. So
I don't know if you guys. Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hello.
Yep.
Welcome.
Cool. Can you guys hear us okay?
Yes,
sir.
Okay, cool, man. Sorry about the delay. I had to run across town, and
there was a delay.
Sunday church traffic, man.
Yeah, you speaking into existence. We didn't even know, man. You could have just said hello.
We would have
never known.
You on time for us,
right?
Oh, all right. Hey, well, that's good, man. I like that, man. So I'm not the only one.
Sure.
So yeah.
Well, welcome to the podcast. Like I said, we have Raj. It is Jeff, right? That is how you say Jeff, right? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
We're having to fix the volume. We can barely hear you guys on our end. So we're going to try something real quick. We might have to cup our ears.
Is it that you can't hear any of us, or is it just Rob?
This is Raj. You guys see my hand?
Okay, so
yeah,
you're Raj.
All right. So you can hear
Jeff right here.
Jeff.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That looked like it's a G off to me, but
yeah, I'll take it G off too.
Oh, I know it's Jeff. That's
G off.
He was all in the English literature.
Oh, there we go.
That was on him.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's like I said, we do have Raj and Jeff, Oak Park Brewing Company out of Sacramento, California, and they're here with a special guest as well, Theodore Mack II, that talk about People's Beer and People's Brewing. So let me bring Mike in as well.
Yeah, sure. Bring him on in.
All right, we'll get now.
Ted, how you doing, Ted?
Welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Welcome. Doing great.
Mr. Matt, what up?
Hey, how you doing, Rob?
What's up? You got to
Yep, that you guys over
Yeah,
be off over there.
Yeah.
there? Right.
So, oh yeah, we gotta. This is weird, man.
it's like
it's like left foot. It's what's it called?
Well, welcome. Welcome everybody.
Yeah.
Banter Podcast. Like I said, it's episode 90 of our podcast, and glad that you are here to tell us about this beer, the brewery, how the beer came together, and the anniversary celebration that's happening as well. So without further ado, we could start with you, Raj, if you want to tell a little bit about brewery, or Jeff, whoever wants to talk about
Okay,
it first.
Yeah, I'll let Jeff talk about the brewery since he was here way before me. He was here maybe like 8 months before me.
Yeah, about 8 months.
Yeah, so
He said
Yeah.
way before.
I mean, in the brewing world, 8 months is a long time.
yeah.
So yeah, there was an old Oak Park Brewing Company that was here for about 4 years. They went out of business, and then the new ownership group took over about a year and a half after they were out of business. We've been open about a year and a half ourselves right now. We just had our 1 year, technically our 1 year anniversary, but we were open, soft open for about 3 or 4 months before that. And the ownership group is a great group of people. One of them is my sister. The other two owners are Dana Huey, who owns the Cheesesteak Shop and Mel's Diners in the Sacramento, Northern California area. So they have a ton of restaurant experience. And then the third owner is Kevin Johnson. He's been a great asset to what we're doing here. And, we're here, we're having fun, we're trying to do things differently and promote things and promote inclusion and diversity and just have a welcoming experience for all of our guests, no matter where they come from, what they look like, what they do. We're just all about community and good times and inclusion. So
Yeah. And I just heard a familiar sound. So Jeff, I want to.
oh, you heard beer open.
Yeah.
It's beer 30.
In the morning, I got
It's,
some.
yeah.
It's
Somewhere.
beer 30.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm thirsty.
We got coffee in one hand and beer in the other.
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh, you got a stout.
Yeah, that's
I heard that there was you slid in there. Kevin Johnson was part owner as well.
Yeah.
Phoenix Suns, great. And
Okay.
former mayor of Sacramento, correct?
Former mayor of Sacramento, former Phoenix Sun. He grew up in Oak Park, and so this has been one of his kind of projects that he's taken on to keep Oak Park, support Oak Park businesses, and make sure things are going well in Oak Park. So, the old restaurant kind of closed down because they had some issues. We're not going to go into those issues, but they had some issues, and they had a fairly bad reputation in the beer industry because of those issues. Kevin, being from Oak Park and wanting to support Oak Park, wanted to keep the name Oak Park Brewing Company, basically to pay like homage to the neighborhood that he grew up in. And so, we kept the name. In the beginning, we still have to change some people's minds, but most of the people have gotten past the old brewing company now. And
What was the issue? Hold on, because y'all like try to sugarcoat this. What was the issue that was going on?
Hey, man.
sometimes you just gotta gloss over things.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was just a lot of slander in the streets on that name, and they brought it back and made it the right way. Oak Park is a brewing is a beautiful name now, and it wasn't back then.
Right.
That's
and
a
they're doing beautiful
conversation we have to have off camera.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about it. All you gotta do is Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
All right.
Yeah, I will.
Google it.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Basically, they had some issues with the health department.
Oh,
One of the many issues they had, right, was the health department.
Yeah.
And so when I came in here to help out, I ended up cleaning the entire brewery, top to bottom. I stripped all the tanks. I moved all the brewing stuff outside. I really wanted to separate the past from where we were going. And we had pest control come out for like 6 months before anyone ever came in here, completely destroyed the place. So, we had the last 2 pest guys that came out over the last month said it's the cleanest restaurant they've seen in Sacramento. So that's the level we're focusing on now. So
right.
Yeah.
That's how you change the narrative for sure.
Yep.
That's enough. And I want to I guess we can jump into how this what we are here for, because we are all drinking the people's beer. I always forget on this camera.
Yeah, that goofy foot that you got us on.
You ran out of drinking all too fast.
It went quick, man. It went quick.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a good lager.
All right, so we want to jump in and hear about the story, how it came together. Mr. Mack was telling us a little bit about it offline, but I just want to see how it all came together on y'all end as well, and then we can jump in and get more of the feedback about how this beer is coming together, what your plans are for the 50th anniversary, and we can go from there.
Okay, so this project came about. Kevin wanted to do something different, and People's Beer was thrown on the table. You know, of course, we know Mr. Max dad was the first black brewery owner in the United States that's documented. And Kevin wanted to do something different. So he was like, hey, what do you guys think about doing this project? And I already knew who Mr. Mac's dad was. I was doing research on him. And I was like, I was in. Like when he said People's Beer, I was like, we got to do this. So, he reached out to the Mac estate. And this is history in the making. So we definitely are glad to be a part of it. So,
a quick question: how long did it go between original brew, Mr. Mac, and then OPB actually reaching out to you to reestablish the brewer?
Well, this has been a 50-year journey. My father, as I was saying before, was a pioneer in the industry.
Absolutely.
And he did it not just because he wanted to have a brewery. He did it because he wanted blacks to have an opportunity at a higher lifestyle. He believed that we can do it for ourselves, that we have the capacity and the intelligence and the political will to get it done. And he did it. Because all factors had to be taken care of, because we live in a country, and we still live in a country that has that hidden racism. And so if we're going to make it, we got to fight twice as hard a lot of times. And so when I got in touch with, I didn't get in touch, when they got in touch with the family, Kevin Johnson's executive secretary got in touch with me, then I said, okay, let's move forward. And we got in contact, and we really had a good conversation. And the reality of having Kevin Johnson say, I don't look at a man I don't look at celebrity and all that. See, that doesn't move me. I'm not a kid. I'm 61 years old. I know a man when he gets his grind on. I know a man when he's telling the truth, or he's trying to dog or scam a brother like me. It's going to be kind of hard to do that. But I fell in love with this man's heart. And I had I remember when we were talking one day, and he said, this is great, because we were pulling it together. We finished the LOI, which is the letter of intent on how we were going to do this. And the next step was he called up, and the night before he called up, I'm a man of God. I pray. I have a relationship with God. So I went to pray, and something in my spirit said, yo, you really need to lock down the recipe and have that ready. I said, okay, well, I got everything right, had it tight. And the next day, in my conversation with Kevin, he said, you know what really would set us off? He said, if we had the original recipe that my father had for People's Beer. And my brothers, what you just drank, that was the original recipe for People's Beer. That's you drinking something that been brewed 50 years later.
Right. It's older than all of us. Yep.
And I'll let you be the witness. Is it tight and is it right?
It's right.
It's definitely tight. Tight and right.
It's good, man. It's really good.
Yeah.
That was brew kung fu right there.
I didn't know if I should answer it or not. Is it right? I'm like,
it's right, and it's absolutely tight.
Yeah. But hey, that's who we are. We're supposed to do. You know, Kevin told me something I believe in it too. We were talking earlier this month, texting back and forth, because I'm in Atlanta, he's in Sacramento, so we still keep in contact on what we do and how we flowing with things. And he said, and I was telling him about some things that I had ideas about. And what I love about this collaboration is that, see, I'm carrying my dad's heart, okay? And I read his books, and I have a box full of his papers, so I know what he's been through, and I know how they try to take him down.
Right.
So when I see those pitfalls coming, I would let him know, and I have some ideals, and I would tell him. But he would agree, and not only agree on some things, but I saw a man in action. When I came up there to Oak Park, some of the things that we talked about actually happened.
Was implemented, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is not just a talk. I'm not into people that just talk. I like people who make it happen. I like people who take action to get it done.
Right.
And Jeff did a great job. And when I told him that, I remember when I was a young kid that we were in a brewery and they used to pour that beer. The main thing that I loved about it was the golden color, but the foam. They poured the beer, the foam would come all out of the glass. And I was like, wow, man, that is something. So one thing I told Jeff, man, you got to have that foam.
Gotta have the foam.
And he did what he did. I'm proud of what these brothers have done. The collaboration has done, and it's a people's beer. One thing my father used to say is, it's not a black beer, it's not a white beer, it's a people's beer.
Yeah.
And he says for the people, and we're gonna make it happen, even though the racist community that we have try to say, oh, this is gonna be an N beer. You know what they're talking about. That they're going to change the formula and all that. No, this is the same beer you were drinking yesterday until the black man brought it.
Mm-hmm.
But they lost 19 of their major buyers in one day. That's all.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
But my father said, when the going get tough, I send meat. And so he went to all 19.
Dang.
And he got 18 back.
Great. That's awesome.
That's
yeah. Your dad was
that's gangster.
Your dad.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie The Mac.
Yeah.
So this just played out in that one scene where he brings all the Macs and the pimps together, and he's like, "We got to collectivize."
Yeah.
This was that scene, Mr. Mac, man. I hope you can rub off on me because you speak. You say the right things, and they just, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
And like it's crazy because like he said, it's a people's beer,
right?
Which is true because everybody can drink it, but also it's like Black history in the can at this point.
Yeah,
like that is crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah,
that is just nuts.
And if you look closely at the can, you see the story.
Yeah,
there's a story right
on
the edge of the can. If you look at the can, you see that story right there. Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
There's the story, and it tells you a little bit of history. And to tell you what kind of heart Kevin has, he said, he sent me a little snippet of what he wanted. Is this good? I said, no, man. Part of it wasn't how I would say it. I said, and he allowed me to change it up. And when I look at the can, I see it like I knew it should be.
Right.
Right. Yes.
My thing is get it right. You don't want to give people an opportunity to say that you're lying or give them an opportunity that you can't produce, but it is a good thing, powerful thing. It is Black history. It is American history. And it is our opportunity to this time make it work.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mr. Mack, were there other people besides OPB that came to you, tried to get the recipe before you heard
Not
from Kevin
before, but right after, yeah.
Okay.
Right after.
Yeah, then they start once the floodgates open.
Yeah. Jeff's lovely wife had me to do 11 or 12 interviews in one day, like I was 18 apologizing, but boom, here it is.
Oh, sorry, but here's the mic.
Yeah, oh, sorry, but hey, this is how it's gonna work. But I'm Ted Mack's son.
Yeah. So you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Yeah.
See, my father used to pick cotton, man. Here's a brother that picked cotton, went to Ohio State University. His brother died. Then he went home to be with the family. Then he went to Marquette University to finish up his degree. He'd get his grind on no matter what. He went from picking cotton to picking man in his different businesses that he had.
Yes.
People's Beer was just one of them.
Right.
Right after People's Beer, he said, one of his partners said, man, you should be crushed what they did to you with People's Beer. He said, yeah, it hurt, and I should be, but I don't have time for that. He pulled out of his briefcase another proposal for something else.
Always working.
And then he was the first Black administrator of a Black hospital with Black doctors and Black nurses.
Wow.
That's the kind of brother he was. Okay? You don't cry. Yeah, you may cry when you get defeated, but you rise back up and make it happen.
Be strong. Yep.
And 50 years later, we have opportunity to rise up and let the dream continue with People's Beer.
I'm just happy that we get to have you guys on this podcast. Like, what was it? A couple weeks ago, we had Mac Brewing on the podcast, and he explained to us about People's Beer and People's Brew.
Yeah.
And I had no idea about your dad or about Oak Park Brewery or any of that. Right. So, like, it's just our history. They always say our history is taught through language and us actually talking to people and having dialogue. It's not just in the history books, because what you read in history books isn't always the truth.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
What you read in history books is his story.
Right. It's the winner. It's the winner.
The story of the victor.
Right. Absolutely.
And they always going to tell the story in their light.
Yes.
Right.
And then those that they don't want to have light, they're going to give darkness to their story.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what has happened in our history. So we got to learn how to tell our story. And we got to learn how to come together as a people, because that's the problem with America today.
Mm-hmm.
My father said in his book that, he said, you white folks really created a monster in this hate. He called it bigotry, in this bigotry. He said, because what it does is it blinds your eyes so you can't see. It deafens your ears so you can't hear. And then he says, for your mind, it makes it so you can't think, but all about hate. If you're so engrossed with it, then it gets to the point when you have kids, you inoculate your kids with this serum of hate. It carries on generation of generation until America stands up to its original sin. This will keep on popping back up like in the 60s. I was around during the riots in the 60s. These are kind of riots, but they not riots like in the 60s.
Right. Mm-hmm. I like how you called it a original sin.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Original sin.
Yeah, it's the first mistake they made.
Yeah,
they never apologized for it.
Sitting here, I was just thinking too, like even if I wasn't a beer drinker and I just happened to be listening to the Bruce and Banner podcast, it's live. Just off the story alone, I'm gonna grab the beer.
You gotta buy it, right? You gotta buy it.
Yeah.
Like the story, like, because sometimes you can go into a liquor store or wherever you go to get your craft beer from, and the can like just speaks to you. You be like, oh, the can looks nice. Let me just grab that. You may not even had it before, but like just hearing the story, and if I grab this can, I read the can, I'm like, oh. I'm gonna try this.
Yeah, absolutely. It don't matter. I'm drinking this. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Raj, I have a question for you, Raj. You said that you had already studied Mac Senior before Kevin had brought this proposal to you guys. What got you into studying the history of, I guess, Black Brew, or what got you into getting to Mac, and how did you find him?
Well, I'm a home brewer, so I've been home brewing for about close to like 16 years, same amount of time as Jeff. And, I was always the only one. So I was like, okay, I know there's other people out there. And I just started, when I would come across people at breweries, people of color at breweries, I would always try to have a conversation with them and build like a relationship.
Right.
And find out what their story is. Everybody has a story.
True.
And, we might have some commonalities or whatever. But I wanted to know, because like my great uncle was a bootlegger. He was a part of what is now NASCAR, because he used to race. They all used to get, all the bootleggers used to get to race their cars. Right. And it was just something, I think it was in my DNA, like you said, Mr. Mac, is something that's injected into your DNA. And I just felt that there was a story that wasn't being told. And when I tried to find the information, it wasn't there. So it sent me on a quest. And actually, with me being here, one of the main reasons for me considering taking this job offer was the resources. You know, KJ, Mr. Mac, Jeff, Becca, everybody involved, man. It's like we're not just a brewery, you know, but we really want to help the community and educate, create, and have fun.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah, that's really good. I appreciate that, Raj.
No problem, man.
So, speaking of the beer and like the process of making the people's beer, and Mr. Max said Jeff did his thing about the thing with it. So what was that process?
Jeff did it. I just kegged the beer and
Were there any like ingredients from the 50s that were hard to find in the 2000s and 2020?
That's a great question.
Thank you. That was a good question.
No, the ingredients weren't hard to find, but they were completely different than what we normally use. So we normally use 2-row barley, and the original recipe called for 6-row barley instead of 2-row. And then it also called for flaked corn, which we've never used before. So we use 2 new ingredients on this beer that we've never used before. So for me, from the brewing side, it's fun because I get to try new ingredients and try new things and see how they play out. And I think, you know, it's been fun. I like experimenting and trying new things. So
would that be something that you would use in your other beers? Those 2 ingredients? Would you use those in future?
Yeah, we were actually talking about using 6-row in a different beer coming up, just to see if it's different, how much different it is than 2-row. And you know, I had originally bought flaked corn before this to try it, but we never got around to it. It sat in our grain bin for 6 months before we got to use it. So it was something I had thought about using at one point in time, but it just never came to fruition until the people's beer came along. So
okay. Was there any well, this probably would be for Mac maybe, but like do you know what techniques that your father used back then?
No, I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little kid at the time. I wasn't a little kid. I was maybe in my teens, but
oh, you weren't paying attention in your teens.
Nah, you definitely you should
have
said your little kid.
But I will tell you this: that my father had his sons as little guys, little kids in our teens. He had us in the brewery working on weekends.
I bet he did.
The rest of the employees had the weekend off, but that didn't mean Mac kids.
We open 7 days a week.
Oh man, he would have semis come to be loaded up on weekends, and it was us.
Right,
yeah, you're doing right. Free labor. That's good.
Hey, that's what made America great. I guess that's what made people great.
Right. Oh man, don't come on Wednesday. We have you ready on Saturday.
But hey, I enjoyed it. It worked us to the bone. It taught us that we can get the job done. And he used to say, "Your name is Mac." That means something. See, his family back in the day in Platteville, Alabama. Mama Mac owned that land. There were not many blacks in the whole town of Prattville, Alabama, that owned their land.
Yes.
Most of them were sharecroppers.
Okay.
But not the Macs, because she said Macs are going to own the land which they stand. Because her mama was a slave.
Right.
And she was determined that Macs will make something of themselves. And all of them did. My father went from that. And the main reason Dad came to the status of people's beer was 2 events in his life. When he was a young man, he used to be plowing that behind a mule, right? In a cotton field, working for somebody else to make his money, right? But he could go home to he can work for whoever he wanted to work. He plowing, and a group of white guys come past with a truck and said, "In, Don't you know you supposed to ride a mule, not walk behind a mule? You that stupid? And that hurt my father. He said, man, I'm not going to do this when I grow up. And then he went into one of the old country stores owned by a white guy, right? And he went in there, and the white guy had a son the same age as my father. And the white guy told my father that from now on, you're going to have to call my son sir.
Oh, shit.
And my father was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he said, well, you one of them uppity ends.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And you going to be dead before you 40, drunk with a bottle in your hand. That's how you going to go out, because you nothing like the rest of them ends are nothing. Well, when Dad brought people's beer, he told my mother, Pearl, I got to take a trip.
I know where you're going.
Said,
I know exactly where
are you going? And then she looked at him, saw that look in Dad's face, that stern T-Mac look. She said, oh, I know where you're going. She said, okay, baby. You know, I see you when you get back. He went to Alabama. He went to that store. In his book, he said he went to the store because he was going to slam this man. He was going to slam him intellectually. But Dad asked the son, who was a grown man now, where's your father? So he back there, tell him Ted Mack is here to see him. Okay. He came out. Dad said, you remember me? I'm Ted Mack. You told me I was going to be nothing. You told me that I was going to be a drunk. And I don't even drink. But I just brought a brewery. I went to the University of Marquette and the University of Ohio State. I played football for Woody Hayes. I did all these things. I made something of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, what you think about that? And then he was going to blast him after he got the response. And then the guy says, Ted, we heard about you. I am so sorry. You go ahead and have a good life. You keep doing the things you're doing. And Dad was like, dang. He said, you messed up my trip. I was coming to get you, and you came back like that. But the one thing this guy did, remember this, the guy apologized, right? He admitted he was wrong. What America have yet to do to us.
Yep.
Right.
And keep their promise. Because I don't know if any of you brothers, but I haven't got my 40 acres and a mule.
No.
And it was $50.
Yeah, they didn't get that change either. Oh, it's more than 50 now, baby. That's 50 back then, right?
Right.
And you know, if you know the truth,
right. Absolutely.
And they talk about, well, our history books, why y'all talk about want to change history? Because your history was not telling the truth.
It's not right. Exactly. That's not the correct history.
Hey, you said you freed us as slaves, right? Okay. All right. You know, they freed us, right? Do you know they kept us working in the coal mines for U.S. Steel until the 1940s?
Right.
For free.
Mm-hmm.
You stand on the corner, a brother stand on the corner in the South, he gets arrested, give a fine that he couldn't pay. The state lends him out or hires him out, slave, hires him out for the rest of his life.
For standing on the corner.
For standing on the corner.
Yeah.
For being black in America.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
And that's how America was great. Because now they're getting this free labor. U.S. Steel got you in the coal mines and wherever else. They still use you on the plant. They're not legal slavery, but it's their undercut slavery.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Because really we had our rights at one time after the war. That's why you had black
7 to 10 years. It was like 7 to 10 years afterwards.
Yeah.
We were the highest percentage.
We had the biggest population, so we controlled the South.
Right.
And the white politician or the white power structure didn't like that. So they instead of having a new civil war, the North just gave us back with the Jim Crow laws and how they allowed them to do us. So yes, we're owed something, but my father would never beg for nothing.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not begging no man, black man or white man, for nothing. He said, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna earn it. Be so good, I'm gonna earn it. And they kept trying that systematic racism kept coming at him, pulling him back, but he would never give up. Never give up. And that's how I feel about what we're doing right now. I'm gonna never give up, man.
Right. All right.
Time I left California, come back to Atlanta. In my spirit, it hit me that, hey, we need a buyer right here in Atlanta. But I remember how they stopped Dad going to Gary, Indiana, because they said you can't sell. They told him you can sell directly, in Indiana. Then when he brought his 3 semis, he was told that you got to take guns because they're gonna try to take your semis because they're gonna say you brought this beer over state lines, and really what they're saying is you got to go through their system before you. And like here, like in Atlanta, or Georgia, you can't sell directly. You got to go to a wholesaler, then sell to the public.
Okay.
The retail, and the retail sells to the public. Well, they had that game in place, mainly mafia game, but they had that game in place, and so they stopped him. My dad had his guns, and he told him, hey, that this is not in the story that you hear in the papers, that he said, hey, whoever told you to try to take my stuff, because he heard it from Washington. Dad had political contacts, white and black. They told him what was going to happen. Take your guns because they're going to take your stuff. And Dad told them, whoever told you to do this, let them know at the first shot, the whole world will know about People's Beer. And then you will not be able to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did was they escorted him back to Wisconsin from Indiana. How you can do that? You got to go through another state called Illinois. But they did it. And then the beer cartel got them in the end by doing black bagging. If you know what black, they were named after us, of course. They're crookedest. Black bagging. Black bagging is getting your competitor off the shelves. The big boys just take up all the shelves so they cannot. That's how he squeezed them out, because Dad had a secret plan. It wasn't too secret when he brought Chief Oshkosh and Oshkosh too. So that's the second brewery he brought. Okay, he brought the labels because he said, "No, I'm not buying the brewery because I know our brewery is better than what they had over there. But I'm gonna buy the label because the distribution system that they had." So they black bagged him with Chief Oshkosh, so he wouldn't have that siphon of money coming in to save the company from that. Then some Africans tried to come in from Nigeria. They wanted to look at People's Beer, probably invest, which they could. They had the money. Do you know their visas got canceled by the United States? So they couldn't come over here.
I believe it.
And my father had to end up being the brother he is after all this stuff was happening. They're about to stop People's Beer. He said, well, I'm going to go over there. He went over there. He was going to, see if it's viable to start a brewery over there. But he saw, I don't know the full story. He says in his book, my mother told me that there was too much division going on over there. He didn't want to put us in that situation.
Right.
It was worse than putting us in Oshkosh.
Yeah.
Wow. And so he wasn't going to do that. And when my family went to Oshkosh, we were the only black family. Okay.
Mr. Mack, was there another beer besides the lager?
Yeah, they did. Chief Oshkosh. They used to have a holiday brew that they used to do every season. And they had one of I forget what it was, but I remember the holiday brew because they used to change the can label and all that. And that was a big thing up there because this is basically a German beer.
Yeah.
It was a good German beer. And when they used to say that because a black man has it, the quality has gone down. Well, Dad went and sent the beer to one of the top raters of beer at the time. I believe it was in Illinois, Cybel Institute or something like that.
Siebel Institute.
Siebel?
What was it?
Siebel, S-I-E-B-E-L.
Yeah, Siebel Institute. And they rated it very highly. And they said it was one of the best. They called up my father, and I have this in my book because my father used to say, they called me up and told me this is one of the best beers in the nation at the time. And this is people's beer,
right?
His beer. But he didn't have the marketing income or budget to let the people know. And they probably wouldn't have believed it anyway.
Right.
But we have the same beer today.
Awesome. Well, it definitely is a good beer.
Yeah. It is a good beer.
Yes,
I killed mine. They had that one.
Well, so why we only have one, Jeff and Raj?
Hey, you're lucky to get that one. Yeah. People didn't get them.
How many runs have y'all done, or do y'all plan on doing more? How's that working?
Right.
How you happen for that?
For the 50th anniversary, which is on October 10th, we did 14 barrels. So it's going to be enough to go around, and hopefully, I don't know if it's in the plan. I hope it is to just keep producing it.
Yeah, that's what I was going
to. Yeah, keep the legacy and story going. Yeah.
So we put one batch prior for the original release. So that was the beer can you have now is batch number 1.
Yeah.
On 10/9, we're canning batch number 2. And so batch number 2, we doubled the size of it because the original batch was only 7 barrels. So we have a 7-barrel brew house. So now we bumped it up to a 14-barrel brew. So we're basically going to can the entire batch. Hopefully we'll get 100, 150 cases, but that's about the max that we can get from one batch of beer on our scale right now. So, the first batch, it was a small version of what we can do, and we've started conversations with other, trying as an ownership group on how we're going to grow this brand and make it a regular release and be able to distribute it nationally. So that's kind of our plan.
Yeah, I like that.
We're already starting. They're rolling. KJ has been great. He's got a couple meetings set up coming up, so hopefully we'll be able to have some big exciting news here soon. So
yeah, I hope so too.
Me too. I think I have one more question. I may have more. Who knows? Yeah, right. But on the bottom of the can, I like looking at bottom of the cans because some people put different things on it. Whose idea? I know, Mr. Mack, you're a religious man. Was it your idea to put the Bible verse?
No, it's Brother Kevin.
Okay.
He told me after we did a final deal, I had to put together some the last day that I was there. They put the pressure on me. Everything on you, Mac. You're not gonna be able to release the beer unless you get this done, Mac. And that was the first time he saw me go like this, because I had to deal with some internal family issues. But but God is good,
Right.
I told him, hey, yo, brother, do not pick me up until I get this done. I didn't come all the way to Sacramento to fail.
Right.
Not to fail you, not to fail the team or myself. I know what's at stake, and I know who I serve, and we're going to get this done. And I remember when I sent him a text and let him know that it was done, he sent a text back saying, well, no, one more got to sign off. And, I'm like, no, man, you need, I said, done. That's already with your executive assistant. Check it out. I'll pick you up in 15 minutes, And he told me one thing in the car that means, he played basketball. So if you play basketball, you know what this means. He said, brother, I want to tell you something. I said, what's that? That was fourth quarter right there, man.
Mm-hmm. Clutch, yes.
Because, hey, that's it. You got to come through. And I'm Ted Mack's son. He always told me, when stuff happens, you got to step up, brother.
Right.
Even when we're in Oshkosh, you the only black your age here. You got to step up every day. He said, if you get in a fight, guess what? You can't lose.
Right.
And I was like, can't lose. What? Wait. You know, but I come from the hood, so I wasn't expecting to, you know. But he put it on us that you had to stand up, and he would not allow. See, he made us proud of who we are. I was proud to be Mac, and I was proud to be Black. But he said, but don't you let that self-esteem that is so high make you abuse other people.
Right.
He said, you treat everybody right. You if they're going to come out wrong, you let them start it. You just finish it.
True.
But you never treat anybody like you wouldn't want yourself to be treated.
Right.
So he led us to be good people, proud in your heritage. I knew my Black history. I mentor right now. I teach young men their Black history, who they are, and that they can achieve what they put their mind to. You know, and when you go through failure, I said, don't feel bad about failure. Failure is the stepping stone. It's the prerequisite to success.
Yes.
If you don't fail, you're not going to have no success. So fear not failure. Take a hold of it and overcome it.
Right.
That's how I'm telling you, y'all getting me going now. So
I love it. I love it.
Hey, I
you know,
know.
my wife tells me when I get, because I teach online, we have a discipleship group or couples that we mentor. And when I get going, I get closer and closer to the screen. They see, man.
They were like, here you go. Okay.
It's about to get serious. It's about to say something for real.
But I'm so proud of this project. I'm so proud of the people involved. You know, for me and my family, it's a great love for you guys because you are actually continuing a legacy.
For sure, yeah.
A hard-fought legacy.
And introducing the legacy to others.
Yes, and that's what Dad said. I want the next generation to know my story so that they can know what they can do. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter where you come from. This dude his mama came from slaves.
Yes.
He was picking cotton. He, a Black man buying a brewery, and Pabst Blue Ribbon, which is still around today. Dad is the one who integrated Pabst Blue Ribbon. Yeah. They came to him after the riots. They said, hey, Mr. Mack, we seen you, all you've done. You know, the CEO of Pabst Blue Ribbon was on our doorstep one day when my dad came home from work. And my father said, listen, I want you to know I'm not a house in. I'm going to tell it like it is.
Right.
He said, Mr. Mack, I know who you are. He said, but after the riots, you know, I'm the chamber, I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce too. And after the riots, we knew that we have to start integrating because it's not fair if we can talk about integration and all that and not doing it with the biggest companies here in Milwaukee. And he asked my father to come down to the brewery. My father did. He gave him a tour. He said, how many Blacks you see? And my father said, less than one hand, you know, so less than 5 people. Is that right? And my father said, blank, no. He said, Milwaukee is over 30% Black.
Oh, really?
Your workforce should be over 30% Black.
Right.
He said, that should be fair. You should be fair. And so he said, that's why I'm talking to you. I need somebody with your qualities to lead this project. And my father said, you know what I said before, I'm not a house. He said, I understand. And he said, another thing, I'm not going to get caught up in this stuff that you guys play. I want to, if I take it, I only report to you. And he agreed. Yeah, you're going to report to me, Matt. And they developed, and this is how life goes, man. They developed, even after he got dogged with Blacks, okay? And Pabst Blue Ribbon was part of that dog in him. Okay? But when it came time for Dad choosing what he's going to do, because they wanted Dad to come back to Pabst Blue Ribbon, and they were going to give him an unheard of position and salary for a Black man. But Dad had another opportunity. That's when People's Beer came. And they used to just send Dad junk, but Dad knew the industry, so he wouldn't buy all these companies that which he called junk. But when they sent People's Beer, he said, wow, this okay, let me check this out. So he went up there, examined it, but Dad said, I'm not an engineer. So who did he call up who had the engineers to check it out? He called up President Wyndham, president of Pabst Blue Ribbon. And because Wyndham knew I owe you one, he said, hey, I'm going to send my best engineers and my brewmaster up there, making sure everything's tight.
Right.
They made sure it was tight, and it helped make it even tighter.
Nice.
And then my dad said, this is the way I'm going to go.
You know what? I do have a question. Going back to the Bible verse on the bottom of the can. Now,
what's yours say, Yoda?
Do they all have the same? That's what I was
saying. Mine's Ecclesiastes.
Yeah. Eat, drink, and be merry, brother. Eat, drink, and be merry.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely perfect for the.
Yeah. And some people be saying that, you're not supposed to, I'm a deacon in the church, right? And if God can take a brother like me and make a deacon in the church, he can do it to anybody. You know what I'm but it's true that you just be. Oh, what were you saying, bro?
I was like, I forgot what was on the bottom of the can, but what does it say on the bottom of the can?
I believe it's the verse of eat, drink, and be merry.
Yeah, it just says it
says what it is. It gives you where the location is, so you can go look at it.
Right. Do you Google it?
Yeah.
Google it, Rod. Come on, Rod. Google it.
That ties into Ecclesiastes 7:7. So check that one out.
No doubt.
So
verses. I get out.
But the powerful thing is that some would tell me that because of what I do. That man, you getting a brewery and all that. And I was talking to a brother. He said, Matt, come on, don't even worry about that. If that's what God is giving you to touch the people, is that the platform that he's going to give you to speak truth to the people?
Right.
Then you go ahead and use it.
Do it.
Right.
You go ahead and do that.
Right.
Because Jesus himself, his first miracle was turning water into wine.
Right.
Yeah.
At a party.
Right.
So you go ahead and mess with Jesus if you want to. I wouldn't advise.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I like dropping true knowledge on people.
Right.
You got to come with me with facts. Don't come with me with what you think, and if you don't have facts behind it. And my dad would be so proud of the people that's connected to Oak Park Brewery. He'd be so proud of Jeff and Raj and see how they work together to make this thing go, and the rest of the team. I met the whole team and most of the workers, I guess. And man, it was a family thing, and it was a powerful thing. And that's what Dad did. Because when he came to Oshkosh, most of his workers were white. The blacks in Milwaukee said, fire them all. That's what they do to us. Do you think Dad did that?
No.
It
doesn't sound like it.
No, he said,
they
are doing a good job for People's Beer right now. They're going to continue to do a good job for People's Beer.
True.
And if I choose to hire on blacks, which he did mostly in Milwaukee, he said that's what I would do. And then some of the brothers got mad at him, like, you should hire on more blacks. He said, no, I should build it up so I can hire on blacks. See, they never knew the plan.
Right.
He wanted to do what we're going to do now, is make it a national brand, if not international,
Right.
And because we do matter, Black lives do matter. But you know what? Dad said, what color is money? Green.
Yeah.
He says, if we go and do the best for everybody, we gonna get the green.
Right.
We got a good product. The beer has been resurrected from 50 years ago, and you just tasted. Was it good, brothers?
Yeah,
definitely.
Delicious. Okay, so we're giving quality. This is not less than, this is above than. Okay, and it's just the start. But just watch this ride. That's all I gotta say. Watch this ride.
Well, absolutely. It is definitely a good beer. But before I know we've been here for a little while and we don't want to keep everybody. So we do a start wrapping it up. But
Okay.
but before we do that, I just wanted to know more about the event that is happening on October 10th in Sacramento. It's the 50th anniversary celebration of the beers. Just want to get more information on that, so people who are in the area or planning to be on the area to know where to be at on the 10th.
Right.
So yeah, we're planning a fairly large COVID-friendly celebration as best we can. So we have set up an event on Saturday the 10th. We're gonna have at least 15 Black-owned businesses out supporting the cause. They're gonna set up little vendors. So we're focusing on the People's Beer release and also promoting Black-owned businesses during the event. So we're gonna have at least 15 to 20 vendors. We got some sidewalks shut off. We're going to have 2 different beer stations on both sides of our building. So it should be a pretty fun event. It's free. It's open to the public. So we're just really looking to celebrate, the People's Beer, Theodore Mack Sr., and then also promoting Black-owned businesses in Sacramento. So
what's that address where this is located at?
Our address is 3514 Broadway in Sacramento, 95817.
That's what's up. Well, I want to thank Raj and Jeff of Oak Park Brewing and Mr. Theodore Mack for coming on and telling us all about the People's Beer, People's Brewing.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
And the anniversary that is happening.
50
years in the making. The original recipe from Oshkosh to Oak Park, as the can says, it's actually a dope can. So I want to thank everybody for coming on. But before we go, I always like to know how people can find out more about yourself as individuals or the brand itself. So we can start with Raj and Jeff.
All right. So you can find me at Black's Brew Beer on Instagram, BLKS Brew Beer, and I just launched a YouTube page so you can see me in my day-to-day life as a human and a brewer and whatever happens. So my life's very based around comedy and the things that I interact on a daily basis. So yeah, so you can reach me there.
You can find Oak Park on Instagram at OP Brewco. Same thing for the webpage, opbrewco.com. Me personally, my Instagram is Jeff, GELFFP Scott, or whatever. Yeah, that's it. So yeah.
Butterfly P.
He sound like me.
Butterfly P Scott.
Rob did the same thing. You can find me. Wait, I don't know.
And Mr. Mack, how can people get in touch with you, learn more about the story?
I have a team. We're working on it right now to get things together because we're having 2 books come out, and we'll be able to give that information probably right after the 10th, after we get everything together. And on that line, you will have opportunity to get my father's book, which is The Country Boy, Memoirs of Theodore Mack Sr., and then my book, Man Unafraid, Reflections of My Father. And then we're going to put a lot of other information on there. I do have a lot of his paperwork. I have when he sued America for $100 million at the time. We still have those legal papers and all that. So we're going to have a lot going on.
All right.
But
where can they find you?
Mac, you need to get yourself a Instagram or.
I'm about to do it. That's what they're working on right now.
You got a good speaking voice. Like you'll catch somebody's attention immediately. So I would definitely start a page and start posting some stuff.
Yeah. That's in the planning stages. They say you got that Barry White, man. You got to use it, bro.
Yeah, you got it. There you go. You got to use it. Right? And when it's some knowledge coming out that Barry White, man, it's always good. Man.
Yeah. I try to drop it too, my brother. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Hey, before we sign off, so this is one of the original cans from the 70s.
So it's like pretty close.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, we're super stoked, man. We have a little setup. We call it the People's Beer VIP room.
Yeah.
So I don't know why Jeff and I are sitting back here today, but But yeah, man, it's like we will probably be getting more memorabilia, and people can see the people's beer memorabilia, So yeah, we just want to push this globally, if we can, and definitely share the story. A guy came in a couple of days ago, and he didn't even know about Theodore Mack, and he's in the beer world, So it was great to share that story with them, and bring him back here and let him see the themes. And thank you, all of you guys.
Yeah,
Mack,
absolutely.
looking forward to seeing you in October.
Yes, thank you guys.
It was definitely informative, and you guys got to come back because I'm sure there's more to tell on both subjects, the brewery and also Mr. Mack's story.
Right. All right, we'll do.
Before how they find you?
And you can find me on Instagram at 302 Yoda and on Instagram and Facebook at Delaware on Grind.
Lou had to go, so you can find him at Lou Belgium for your beer needs. And you can find Brews and Banter Podcast at Brews and Banter Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can watch the live stream on Facebook or YouTube. And you can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We are there. You can even say, Alexa, play Brews and Banter Podcast, and she will do that for you. Until next time, I want to thank our guest again. A round of applause.
Thank you all. We appreciate y'all coming on, man.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
Peace.
All right.
We got some outro music.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you, man.
I hope I represented right.
Yeah, definitely did, man. Definitely. Oh, wow. Shout out to Dave who could make it on the podcast.
Yeah, we got to do this again, brothers.
Yeah, you got to come on again, definitely.